you on the virtual platform of the Russian House in Brussels, Europe, для очередной встречи в рамках проекта Russian Innovation Night. В рамках этого проекта мы представляем российские передовые технологии, новые достижения нашей науки. We are very happy to welcome you during one of our meetings of the project Russian Innovation Night, when we are welcoming Russian new technologies and new projects in innovation and in science. Прежде чем представить нашего сегодняшнего гостя, несколько технических моментов. Before introducing you our guest of today, some technical moments. Наша сегодняшняя встреча проходит на двух языках, на русском и синхронном переводе на английском. Для того, чтобы выбрать русскую версию, вы можете кликнуть на иконку глобуса внизу вашего экрана или ничего не делать, потому что русская версия является основной, и вы можете продолжать слушать на русском языке. For following us in English, please click on the icon of globe in the bottom of your screen and choose the English language, so you can follow us with our simultaneous translation in English. And thank you so much, our interpreters of English language, who will help us to understand each other during our meeting of today. Ну и вот теперь, когда технические...
So now when we have finished with all the technical details, I would also like to say that we will always welcome your comments or your questions. You can write it on our chat, or you can use the icon Q&A before on the screen.
So you can write them in the chat. You can use at the bottom of question answers at the bottom of your screen, or you can also raise your hand. There is a special icon for it. Итак, начинаем нашу сегодняшнюю встречу. Егор Козловский.
So let's start. Our speaker today is Yegor Kozlovsky. That's someone we know for a long time. He's a director of the Center for the Development and Implementation of Digital Technologies and Rehabilitation Programs. That's a non-for-profit organization. The name is No Limitations, No Limit. And actually, we've already had one meeting also as a part of this Russian Innovation Night project two years ago. And Yegor has presented their methodology. They work with, when they work with children with the autism spectrum disabilities. So before we go to your presentation to learn about your new project, maybe you could briefly share with us what has changed over these past 2 years. Well, hello to everyone. Nothing has changed. We continue our work. We continue to help where we can. We develop new projects with even more love and more enthusiasm. Nevertheless, this application, which is free internet application, you've never had such thing. So I think that's a great step forward in your work. It's a kind of a new level of achievement, a new format for you, a new project, right? Well, not exactly. Over the last 7 years, I think we've developed 7 applications of sorts. We have changed the approach to the development process. We focused mainly on developing platforms because we have a great desire to create a unique ecosystem which will include many different tools, innovative tools for education, which will include and put into practice different methodologies and best practices. So that's the beginning of this long path. That's the goal that has been set 2 years ago. So it's a kind of a report, if you like. And of course, we will also talk about the perspectives, where we want to go, where we want to come, and which goals we have. Okay, great. So we are listening to you before the Q&A session. Okay, I'll switch on the presentation and we can begin. So, as I've just said, now we're working on a integrated ecosystem, an application that for now is called My Communicator. It is accessible on every digital platforms, App Store and Google Play. So what this application is about, it's a set of educational tools and methodologies that were digitalized. The main goal of this work and the main challenge is communication. The thing is that a large number of children, these are children with mental disorders, children with some problems with speech development. That's our public. So our goal is to solve communication problems they're faced with different kind of gadgets. As for today, we have a set of solutions that already proved their utility and their efficiency. There are different methodologies to work with children with autism. Some were formulated by the philosopher du Monde. That's these are cards, the so-called PECs, Picture Exchange Communication System. These cards are used as an alternative communication tool for children with autism. These cards depict different objects or activities. So PECS, that's a communication system in itself based on a set of cards. So we took this PECS system as a starting point and based on this methodology, we developed our own product. So on this slide, you can see, well, the image, the interface, and I would also point out some difficulties we were faced with. Well, the difficulties with these cards is well, primarily very basic, as we're talking about physical cards, you have to print them, cut them out, they got lost. So it creates additional problems. And then it's not very informative for children. And we're living in the 21st century. All these solutions are digitalized, and many solutions at least have already been transferred to the mobile application. So we also wanted to create such tool in the digital world, a tool that would allow communication and learning for children suffering from different kind of mental disorders. The program, the application has different modules. I will come back to that a bit later, but it is based on the communication board, digital board, which allows for the communication between children, between educators, teachers. And so based on the same principles of communicational board, we have developed other tools, other modules. We also have a big library of content, as well as a monitoring system which allows to assess, evaluate psychophysical state of the child, which also allows to get the statistics and to track the progress of the education. So one of the goal we had actually on this slide, we can see many of them. All these goals have been implemented. Our application is accessible, it is free. And it's already an updated version 2.0, and now it's already 3.0 that you can download. We also went through quite a long process of probation approval. We had this opportunity to carry out kind of a test with the participation of 512 children and 21 experts. More than 1,500 lessons were held to back up our methodology. And we've got many positive feedbacks from this therapy, meaning that our methodology, this particular method, proved itself to be quite efficient. So a couple of words about the application itself. The first module is some kind of games which allows to reinforce, to develop cognitive functions, motor functions. There are not so many, but we will develop further this particular field. So based on my communicator content, we also have this game called option selection. This game teaches to the child how to interact with the cards. It's like the first step of our interaction. Later or further on, using those cards and algorithm, the child learns how to compose sentences. Now we have 7 levels of difficulty. In order to, boost the progress in the education process. Another important module is vocabulary expansion. For now, we have 23 topics covered with 280 cards. But those topics can be edited, and you can create your own user-made cards, uploading any images you like. There is an interface, a very user-friendly interface that allows you, for example, to find an image on the internet and then very easily to upload any image you like to this application, rename it, add up a voice, or even synthesize a voice with the help of artificial intelligence, and then put it to your own library for your child. Another module we are developing right now, that's our first try, that's a module gamification. So it's a bit similar to what I've described before. Those are educational games to develop logical skills, for example, or also gratifying games. As a gratification, you can add some cards or offer a possibility of game. Then again, you can add up your own cards. You can edit the content, and this card will be accessible in the module you put it. And then you can also use it otherwise. Statistics. So right now, it's quite limited. It's about some basic time the child has spent on the application or some other sets of data. It is also a part we are developing, but in the future, it will be a more advanced module with more functionality, with more information in it. At the beginning, well, you can start by downloading our free application in App Store or Google Play. Try it out. And if you have any questions, you can always write to us by email or on App Store or Google Play. We will answer you. The application is continually developing. By December the 1st, we will add some new functionalities, quite interesting. Well, I wouldn't like to anticipate, but it will be useful, I hope. We continue to develop our ecosystem working on this application. So I wanted to be quite brief in describing what we are doing. The only goal here is to reach out to the experts that could possibly learn about this tool and use it in their practice. And of course, we will be grateful for any feedback. To get some recommendations or ideas in order to adjust or develop better the application of ours. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. At our first meeting in February 2021, when you presented your methodology using these cards, back then and today, I really admire your work. And so I would like to start by thanking you for all your initiatives, all your projects. I think that's one of the most gratifying goals in life, to help children with special needs. And you're a non-for-profit organization, so you develop those applications and products for free, of such a level of quality, intellectual level and technological level, medical level. So I really wish you all the best, because this activity is quite remarkable. So, Yegor, you are a founder, if I'm right, of this center. You're its director from the very beginning, the spirit of this center, but you're a philologist, right? Me too. So how did you get from the job of philologist to this medical field? How did you come to be now a psychologist or a doctor? Well, I will be actually quite soon a speech pathologist because I'm studying right now at the university in Moscow. Well, I don't know. At one moment, I became interested in different medical technologies, new technologies, and I've got this idea: why not digitalize such speech development tools? So yeah, that was the starting point, and now we've got our first results. So that was your personal initiative. You didn't have, I don't know, an external impulse. That's something that you've just got as an idea. Yeah, that's right. And maybe another question. So if you're a non-for-profit organization, you have people who help you in any way. I think they should be. It should be. You should have more of such people. So if you're searching for sponsors, maybe we would like to tell it as well. Yes, let's say that we of course we need new investors and sponsors. So now we have listeners on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, on our website, and some external platforms. And I think, yeah, we have listeners from Belgium, Russia, and other countries. Then this video will be registered and it will stay on our website. So, what do you maybe wait from the Western Europe? Do you maybe want to translate your application on other languages, or maybe create an application that would need a translation? So, what are your thoughts? What can you give to Western European parents and experts? Well, for now, our public is Russian speaking. But of course, if there is a demand to adapt this product to other communities or languages, it won't be a problem. Yeah, I think why not? You could think at least about some basic European languages, the major European languages, let's say English, French, German. So yes, I would like to emphasize again that if there are sponsors or investors that would like to help you in adapting your projects to the needs of children with special development needs in Western Europe, of course, we will publish all the contacts of your center on our website, and maybe we could also post them on the chat, so they could reach to you. And if I may, some more questions. So at the very beginning, I said that your methodology is aimed at autism spectrum disorder children, but actually it covers a larger list of diseases. So which are those pathologies that your methodology covers? Well, let's say it otherwise. We work for those children which have some problems with communication, some problems, challenges with speech. It can be all kind of disabilities, but it all brings us to the same challenge: speech development, or retardations, if you like, in the development of speech. And normal children, I don't know, healthy children can also have speech problems, right? Yes, we we quite often see children that do not speak till the age of 3 or 5. But if that's that's the only thing, usually parents are not alarmed. Like my youngest son has 3 years. He does not speak for now, but I'm not alarmed. He will when he likes. Who are your target audience? Parents? Yes, parents and experts, medical experts. You can also create, accounts and group accounts, which will include not only one child but many children. So yes, our target audience are medical experts and children. Well, another important thing in the Russian families who live in the Western Europe, in Belgium, but in other countries as well, very often parents speak different languages. And so the child has to communicate in Russian and in, let's say, English, or Russian and Dutch. And so that is also a challenge for a child, how to choose a language, even for a normal child. It can also cause retardation, I think, because the child doesn't know which language to speak. Yes, I think it's very well described in each family, multi-language family. It is something very, very common. But your project can also be a help for such bilingual children. Maybe. Well, that's a hypothesis, but our target audience is a bit more specific. So children with mental disorders. Then, of course, you can try it on other children as well. But children with mental disorders have their particularities. So yes, we are speaking about children with mental retardation. Well, of course, I won't be influencing your choice of audience. And if we're speaking about Russian-speaking public, this issue or this particularity, if you like, exists. So why not, expand your audience, including other issues children can face? Yes, of course, we're thinking about it as well. But for now, our focus is elsewhere. But anyway, thank you for this idea. It's already in the air. Okay, great. So coming back to our first meeting, you used cards, physical cards, and right now you use smartphones or tablets. Isn't it easier for children with special needs to hold the cards? Well, no. Even in the past, we used tablet already, but together with the cards, and now we use only the tablet. Why? Why without cards? Well, because for now, the technology of augmented reality that we use is not digested, if you like, by modern gadgets. If you do not have the last version of the smartphone, the speed is not enough. It's not performing enough. And well, the average Russian user doesn't have such a smartphone. So we need something simpler. So we we tried to solve the same problem, but from the other angle, by simplifying it, but also by expanding the functionality. Yeah, so the first goal is to simplify the application to adapt it for a larger number of models of gadgets, and on the other hand, amplify its functionality. Are there any limitations in use of your applications? Well, only technical, I think. Like what? Well, if the gadget has buttons and not a digital screen, you can't really download the application. Well, I think it's already, it belongs to the past, really. So for now, we could say no, no limitations. Okay, great. So, is it easy to use your applications? So, if we speak about a special child, can he or she use it by himself, or only with the help of an adult? Well, yes, it's better. It's better to have an adult by his side, but then there are different level of functionality of such children. If he's highly functional and autonomous, he or she can use it by himself. And we developed our interface to make it um, uh, simple, user friendly for a parent as for the child. Of course, we think about it. Well, ideally, it would be great to leave, the child alone with the gadget. But for now, it's unrealistic. You need to moderate. Well, it also applies even to the to the normal children, especially young children. It's better to have an adult to moderate this interaction. So if the adult uh, participates, and if it's not a parent but a doctor or an expert, what I'm saying, your target audience, you said, are mostly parents, but your methodologies can also be used in the medical centers, in, I don't know, hospitals. What are the perspectives in terms of standardization of your methodologies to integrate them as, I don't know, obligatory or additional practices? Well, that's a very long and complicated path. So how to standardize it, how to mainstream this, we do not know for now, but we are developing our interface also for the specialists, for the experts. And actually, we hope that medical experts will be proactive to use our applications by their own initiative. Okay, so they are also a part of your target audience. Yes, exactly. Among others. So on the slide with statistics, when you talked about testing your methodology on over 500 children with more than 1,500 lessons, among those children, there were also children with Down syndrome, right? So how do you work with them? How many are they usually? And at what stage of the disease they were perceptive? So if we're talking about, some extreme forms, does your methodology still work? Well, extreme forms, I'm not sure I understand you correctly, but if I understand right, so let's say it this way: if the child is functional, then you have a scale of functionality. And children with the Down syndrome are highly functional. So very often they go to school with ordinary, normal children, and they do not have problems with that. So we, of course, yes, we worked with those children. Many of them have delayed speech development, and yes, they were very receptive to this methodology. Okay. So coming back again to mechanisms of popularizing, promoting your methodology, which channels you use, because you're the member of public chamber of Moscow region. You're quite a public person. And you're not the only one in your family, because you have a brother, very well known. Well, I actually have two brothers and a sister. Well, the sister is less known, but Danilo Kozlovsky, your brother, is very well known in Russia, is loved. Actually, you look alike even by your appearance. So this public involvement, these public channels, do you use them to promote your association as a non-for-profit organization? Actually, no, that's vice versa. What I'm doing promoted me, if you like, to some level of public popularity. Okay, so it started with the project. Does it help you to promote your project? I think so, yes, I think so. Now it helps, this certain status. And what about expert community? Are they receptive? Do they approve? Yes, we've just talked about the probation. So before, the experts were quite skeptical to what we were doing. Right now, they pay attention. They talk to us. We have an expert council, and we have support. They are leading experts. We stay in touch. And of course, that's a great support for our project. Yes, I'm sure that this expert community will only get larger and will help you to develop your project further. And well, to sum it up, I think it would be important to recall to all our listeners that we're talking about a number of applications that you put on the same platform. So how do you plan to develop your methodology? All these applications together? Yeah, well, indeed, we intend to develop it, hopefully with success. Well, it won't be, many different applications. It will be the same ecosystem with many functionalities, and we hope, of course, to have a support of the communities. And well, we think that the time for such methodologies will come. Sooner or later, we hope to create something really valuable. I think you already did it. You've already done something valuable, that's for sure. But of course, you won't stop, I hope, and it will get even more valuable. As for the application, because I'm always thinking about a specific public of ours, Russian but foreign public. There are two main groups of users. On the one hand, Russians, parents from bilingual families who may also have children with special needs or delayed speech development. due to foreign environment in which the child is developing, speaking Russian at home and speaking a different language, are Russians who I think will be happy to use your methodology if their children have some issues, some development issues. Well, that's, let's say, a traditional audience that should be simply informed to let them know that such solutions exist. Free solutions, which are very accessible with Apple or with Android. On the other hand, we have another group of potential users or, well, let's say your target audience are experts, professionals. In Western Europe, there are many. Those issues are very relevant. They are actively studied in Western Europe. But those experts rarely speak Russian. Russian speaking audience are parents and schools, educational centers. There are many of them. Some are organized by our compatriots, but those are schools, again, that's educational initiatives. Experts, on the other hand, do not speak Russian. So they are all they studied in the national universities. So if you want to get their evaluation, their support, I think we will have to think about how to translate your technologies into different languages. I do not think that it will be complicated. To me, it's quite realistic and it even won't be expensive. So, again, I address to everyone who is listening to us. If you want to help to adapt those methodologies, these technologies to different foreign languages, if you want to participate, we will, of course, leave all the contacts of this association to make it visible, to make it accessible for European community as well. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you for this advertising. No, it was not an advertising. It's simple, a simple statement of the facts. It's a quite an impressive achievement in Russian science, Russian technology. Because teaching those special children, allowing them to adapt, what can be more valuable than that? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Yegor. Thank you a lot. Thanks to all our listeners. And then again, I'll repeat that we will leave all the contact information of the Center for the Development and Implementation of Digital Technologies and Rehabilitation Programs, No Limitations, directed by Igor Kozlovsky. All the contacts will be published on the website of the Russian House in Brussels and on our Facebook page. And of course, we will hope to have a third meeting with you later on our virtual platform, or who knows, maybe in person. Maybe one day you will be able to come to Brussels to present your technologies in person together with your team. So you're You're always welcome here. Thank you. Thank you for this invitation. Yegor Kozlovsky, and today we were talking about new methodologies and technologies and this new ecosystem helping to develop speech aimed at the children with special development needs. Thank you all. Thank you, Yegor. All the best. Do not stop, because it's really important what you do. All the best for your great project. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All the best. See you soon. Take care.